The Sanctum Club is an elite club in Beverly Hills.
This man right here completely ruined the used car market.
Hey, the best? Probably the Obama thing.
Hey, Segovia, back with another one. Hope everyone out there's having a good day, y'all. Make sure you guys watch from start to finish. As you know, that really helps the channel grow, y'all. So watch from start to finish. But with that being said, let's do what we came here for. Let's get into this hour banger today. Sit back, relax, and show some love.
And so they went into the cave, this team of guys. And instead of finding the Taliban, they were confronted with this very large, hostile giant who killed them all. And so another team was dispatched to go and find this missing team. And they followed the tracks and went to where the last transmissions were from this team. And he said that the story goes that when they went into the cave, the giant was eating on the guys that it slaughtered, and they were able to take him down. Now, there's another story told by my colleague L.A. Marsuli where he had a whistleblower come to him about this incident, which we're not sure if it's the same incident or a different incident, where the giant speared one of these guys from the second team. Might be a separate story, but not 100% sure.
So we're here with the head chef of Epstein Island. He's going to be here talking about his book, Breakfast with Jeffrey. But first,
we're going to have to ask you a couple of questions.
I expected this. I was there strictly to cook. Obviously, I didn't engage in the other things going on. I have no idea if that stuff actually happened or not.
Oh, you were in a separate part of the island. You were in the kitchen.
Yeah, I would ask to be blindfolded until I got to the kitchen.
We got to know, what are the meals that were staples on the island?
Obviously, the pizza's always a big hit. Everybody loves the pizza there. Actually, we didn't do anything aged. So it was mostly veal, mostly suckling pigs.
Younger animals.
For some reason, they just gravitated towards the taste of the younger animals.
Yeah, okay.
The people that came fluctuated so much, so it all depended on who was there. Bill would come down, Bill Clinton, obviously, former president, who he actually turned vegan for a little while.
Ooh.
We made it work. We had Jay-Z come down, Jay-Z, a man from New York. We made him a lot of bagels. We would ship the water in from New York, so the bagels and the pizza would taste
that
authentically
Hudson salt. Yeah, no, that's great.
Yeah.
So you got to give us a weird Jeffrey story.
Yeah, something that nobody knows.
I'd say the most egregious thing he did was I would serve him breakfast. He would put ketchup on his eggs. Scrambled eggs.
Yeah. Let's talk about your book, Breakfast at Jeffrey's. It's available at Barnes & Noble. Congratulations, and thanks for stopping by and being so honest about such kind of a tough topic.
Of course, not tough for me. It's just food. It's just food. It's just food.
Just pizza.
Welcome to the show. So, Jeffrey Epstein owned a painting of George W. Bush with 2 paper airplanes and 2 collapsed Jenga towers. Wait, that's weird. Because do you remember that one thing that happened? How about that?
Everybody needs to look up retired FBI agent John D'Souza, who ran the X-Files program for the FBI. He investigated this whole process with 9/11. And he documented that speakers were playing throughout the crisis, telling people to calm down. There's no emergency. Relax. While the towers is falling. And firefighters said when they entered the building, they seen explosions happen. Why is that happening?
Why the day before 9/11, the owner took out a massive insurance policy.
And he never missed a day at work. But that day he wasn't there.
They said nobody that was Jewish was there.
Absolutely not. The truth is indeed stranger than fiction. Question.
Never heard that one.
Basically, we're insinuating that this was a calculated, coordinated event, and that there are forces at play that use modern media to trick the public.
Let's slow down a little bit, shall we? This year's logo is the same colors as the no signal broadcast. Is this foreshadowing? Power lines sparking and cutting off. Are you following me so far? It looks like we are to follow the white rabbit, or in this case, Bad Bunny who's wearing all white. Through the rabbit hole we go. The dancers are making a circle round him, same as, let's say, a rabbit hole. Through a rabbit hole, we end up where? An alternate universe. Notice the floor pattern. All the dancers here are making the same design. So many similarities so far. Drinking the potion will definitely alter your reality. How about the hedge maze? Here's where it gets twisted like a maze. Alice and her potential husband. Did you notice Gaga and Bad Bunny's outfits? Very similar. Alice did not want to marry, so she ran off chasing the rabbit. But in this realm there was a wedding. Here you can see Gaga crowning Bad Bunny. Maybe now we'll have a new Queen of Hearts.
If you send children to war and you send people who you don't even recognize as being adults, isn't that child abuse? I was a volunteer. See this hat?
Yeah.
What does it say?
U.S. Navy SEALs, the force of choice.
You're a volunteer. SEALs are a choice. You will never see another LeBron James. You will never see another Kobe Bryant. You know why? Because the NBA made a rule that says you got to go to college for 1 year before you can play pro basketball. And I remember Jermaine O'Neal, the big center for the Pacers. Jermaine was scratching his chin and he said, wait a minute, you mean you can go die in Iraq, but you're not old enough to play basketball? Isn't that child abuse?
If you play hard rock music or like some heavy metal headbanger stuff, and you play it for a plant, the plant will wither and die. Literally, like almost in an hour. If you play a concert musical or symphony or an opera, it actually blossoms. It's just frequency, it's energy.
One of the most demonic shows on TV. Watch this.
So one of the most demonic shows on TV was I Love Lucy.
Wow.
I Love Lucy with Ricky Ricardo was a santero, straight from Cuba. And Ricky Ricardo used to sing the song, Babalua Ye. And we used to sing that song like it was like, you know, it was like salsa night. And Babalua Ye is a principality. And we usher the devil into our house by singing the song, because whatever you chant to becomes your God.
See, remember, that's coming from an ex-high priest Satanist that's telling you that because they do hidden things in TV shows to get you to fall into their demonic tricks. And if you stand against demonic, say, I stand against the demonic today, and subscribe or follow for more Jesus content like this.
Yeah, I think those shows back, all those sitcoms when they have the fake laughs and all that in the background, the audience, you know, those laughs are deeper than just the joke they're telling us. I feel like I've seen it. I've seen the veil open, and those, when they laugh on those sitcoms, it's very, very dark. It's evil. It's like a good versus evil battle. All those laughs, those whole shows, y'all. I've seen it firsthand, and I almost lost my damn mind when I saw that.
One of the craziest ones. The day he was indicted in 2018, the very next day he ordered 330 gallons of sulfuric acid.
What?
Yes. He ordered 6 55-gallon drums of sulfuric acid to be delivered to the island.
Epstein is talking about he wants everyone in the world to have his DNA. He didn't say I want every woman in the world to have my baby. He said I want everyone in the world to have my DNA. And he's working with and communicating with the people that are making the RNA, and he's talking about utilizing that as a delivery system with some of his own DNA. It's quite possible, after me reading that everyone that has gotten that Jabberwowski is walking around with Epstein's DNA in their body. If he was successful, there are millions of people walking around with some of his genetic code inside of them, so that he can live on forever through everyone else. This is narcissism 10x.
Okay, this is actually creepy. So here's Beyonce sitting down. Look at her stomach, pregnant, right? Folds like a Frisbee. At first you're thinking that's weird, but then I found out this Wendy girl went and did a whole segment in front of an audience talking about how weird it was that Beyonce went and sat down and like her pregnant stomach looked super freaking weird and didn't quite look legit. Wait until you find out what happens at the end though. So she's convincing them she's not crazy. Like, watch the video. She says, roll the clip. She sits down and you can barely see it at first. Like, you would miss it if you were just not really paying attention. She says, no, we're analyzing this. Slow it down and rewind it. Look, pregnancy conspiracy, okay? Sits down it folds. And there are you can wear a fake baby bump, by the way. You can buy this plastic thing. Anyway, she slows it down, zooms it in. Then she gets a brain problem going on. And this is her now after talking about this. I will say it is strange the amount of celebrities who, there's a common theme here where they say something that's a little bit out of character that you wouldn't expect them to say, maybe exposing something. And then shortly thereafter, their car loses control, or they lose control of their own 2 feet and fall from a high height. You know what I'm saying? If you've seen Casino and The Sopranos and you've seen mafia movies, that may be the tip of the micro iceberg of mafia that's out there. You think of mafia, you picture James Gandolfini sitting there smoking a cigar, calling shots. It might be a little bit more hectic than that. But truth is prevailing. Love and light will succeed. We will win during this strange moment in human history here. Big, beautiful things are coming around the corner. You will be completely stoked. I promise you. The goodness will prevail. I have full unwavering faith that the goodness will prevail. So don't be all depressed and sad about this. It's just shocking and crazy information. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below and follow for more.
Here's some news from other countries that we're not being told, but they are being told. One is that Germany has considered America officially unsafe to travel to. Canada doesn't consider our medical research valid anymore. They say it's considered as untrue because of the political affiliation with our educational system. Other countries think that we'll no longer be having any elections and that this is how it's going to be for the rest of our lives. Other countries consider us not a first world country anymore based on freedom of press, freedom of expression, our education, and political freedoms. North Korea states that we're going too far. Let that one sink in. Romania is allegedly no longer allowed to ship anything to the United States because they consider it unsafe. And then this one had me really freaked out. The Dutch have officially considered that Trump is more dangerous than Hitler. This is only the beginning of the end to the illusion, though. So I'm really not trying to impose fear on anybody. It's more just that anything that wasn't on solid ground must fall before it can be rebuilt. It's like the tower moment for the new Earth.
Do you know one of the most infamous photos that I spent a good portion of my day the other day?
She's in the photo with Kennedy and Nancy Pelosi.
No, she's in a photo with John Benet Ramsey.
Oh no. No.
John Benet Ramsey's father and mother were connected to Epstein and Ghislaine, knew them personally. I spent a whole day on it. I couldn't believe it. Yeah. John Benet Ramsey was one of the kids that was murdered in this. And they're a mover and shaker, well-to-do family, and their daughter is involved in all of these. Okay, so during this time, Epstein's, he's up to.
Can I throw a little crumb out there?
Yeah, dude.
You know, have you been seeing the possibility that Mom Donnie might be Epstein's son?
Yes.
Oh God, another Twitter conspiracy.
I've seen some good stuff that refutes that. Ian Carroll kind of covered that a little bit and kind of shot it in the face a little, but it's so all of this. When I get into the turkey baster,
I know. Continue.
I hate where that's going. Okay.
And a lot of the parties circle around the clothing industry, the design industry, fashion, models.
Media,
models. Lots and lots of fucking models. And this is where Trump gets his first toe in the water of no, that's good.
Well, I can personally attest to this model thing. When I went to LA for one of my first stints.
Yeah.
One of my best friends, he moved down there just before me. We were going to move down together. I was 18. He was 20.
His name was Jeff.
Yeah. My buddy Jeff.
My name Jeff.
My boy Jeff.
A nice older man.
Yeah.
I don't know. He said he had connections.
He was offering me all these things.
If you wanted to name a guy a very unthreatening name, I would name him Jeffrey.
Yeah, Jeffrey. That's my friend Jeffrey. Jeffrey, come here. Yeah. Anyways, he moved down there. He met some people. And once my foot finally healed, long story, once I moved down there to actually live and I wanted to get into acting.
Took you those crazy parties?
Huh?
So the guy that took you those crazy parties?
Yeah.
Okay, this is part 2 of things we've either moved on way too quickly or they have not been solved. They're in a playlist. It's going to be called Unsolved Mysteries. Okay, let's start off strong with Anne Hesh. Do you remember the footage, the aerial footage that we all saw of her being put into a ambulance or a fire truck, whatever that was, on a gurney, and right at the last minute, as they're shoving her in there, she jumps out. She unfolds the blanket, pops her head out, and what do? They basically throw her back down on the gurney and shove her into the ambulance or fire truck, whatever that situation was. It looks staged. The next thing we know, she's not around anymore. She passed. No real answers. She was not burnt. She looked perfectly fine. Number 2, Malaysia Airlines. I'm sorry, but have you ever seen that documentary? During Obama's presidency, this plane went missing, never to be found again. Like, ever. Do you know how large that plane was? To not find one piece of that airplane, it's like it went into a different dimension and never returned home. Weirdly enough, there were doctors on that plane. Put your conspiracy theory brain to work and figure that one out. And number 3, this goes along with what's trending right now. What about the movie Snake Eyes? That whole thing is so beyond bizarre. It trended for a week and nobody ever talked about it again? How is that even possible? I don't have time to explain the entire conspiracy, but somebody please type in Snake Eyes and hopefully there'll be a blue search bar. You can go follow it if you don't know what I'm talking about. Stay tuned. I got about 30 more.
What's going on, Jason?
It's probably one of the craziest things I think I've ever seen. I've been through the, Gary Triano bombing. I've gone through the, seen the Elizabeth Salas case, but nothing quite like this. But I will also say it takes a lot of cojones for the sheriff's officer to be at the U of A basketball game last night instead of doing his job. I think it's pretty disgusting. I understand people need a break, but this is not the time nor the place to do that.
So how long have you been living here?
Game. I've been living in Tucson for about 36 years.
And you live around here?
I live about 15 minutes.
Okay, 15 minutes. So what do you think happened here? As you being a Tucson resident, what's your gut telling you?
My gut is telling me that it's the brother-in-law or the son-in-law.
Son-in-law. Why?
Just too many things. He had pictures. There was a picture or two that came out, and you haven't seen him since. You haven't heard from him.
Radio silent.
The other people have, the family, Savannah and, her brother and sister have done things. He hasn't been involved in any of it. And I don't know if he's trying to stay away from the limelight or what it is, but I can tell you this, it's very suspicious to me.
A shocking twist in the disappearance of Savannah Guthrie's mother. Reports now suggest the investigation has turned toward the family itself. Breaking reports from journalist Ashley Banfield claim that law enforcement sources have identified a prime suspect, Savannah's own brother-in-law, Tommaso Cioni. Sources allege that Cioni's wife, Annie, Savannah's sister, was the last person to see their mother before she vanished. And
stuff you may not be ready to hear about. The next layer after the files is that human cloning, test tube babies, deep underground military bases. What's under the ocean is what they keep telling you is in space. At the bottom of the ocean, you go somewhere else. The ice wall in Antarctica is real. Everything we need is under the Vatican. Reptiles control everything right now, but we're winning. Time travel is real. Free energy is real. Instant and perfect healing is real. The government made a deal with the aliens years ago in the 40s that they could take and eat a certain number of us. Many of the people you know are not people at all. Some are NPCs, some are other types of beings. Some started as people or quasi-people, but have been morphed and made into other things by the government. Not everything you meet has a soul. A soul can be taken out of a body, an NPC code installed, and nobody realizes that a person was essentially murdered. There are beings on Earth who can cause death with a single thought. That's how profound their magic is. Everything that you have been reading about already exists and walks among you.
The First World War created conditions no one had ever experienced before, and they didn't have a name for it, so they called it shell shock because men were forced to endure artillery constantly. Death could come from the sky at any moment, and there was literally nothing you could do about it. That loss of control broke men more than the fear of actual combat. Ernst Jünger compared the artillery during the Battle of the Somme to being in a natural disaster.
TikTok is now not allowing people to post anything that is anti-ice.
Not just that. You can't post the juice box emoji.
What's that?
Because it's a code for Jews. Because people were using it because they were blocking content where they were criticizing Israel.
Wait, why is it juice box Jews?
I don't know.
Oh, juice box.
Juice. It is funny. But Did they block the use? This is somebody sent me this. I haven't verified this. Did they block the use of the word Epstein?
I'm not on the app, but I saw a video of someone trying,
Yeah.
The same.
Now, also on CapCut, where I do my editing, which is part of TikTok, you can't use the PDF like sticker no more, GIF or whatever they're called. You can't put that in. Like when they say the word, you mute it and you put a PDF file there. You can't use that no more. Now I haven't tried Juicebox. I haven't tried these things on CapCut, but I know I've tried to do that PDF file, and I'm pretty sure they're probably going to take away that pizza emoji too.
Club is an elite club in Beverly Hills that has been called half pagan cult, half entertainment mogul after party club. They've got a whole season of a reality show called Naked Sanctum. It's all about the Sanctum Sex Club. It's a whole season, a documentary following the founder, Damon. He goes around and it shows him preparing for these sexual erotic events while his entire family life falls apart. It's like riveting and depressing at the same time. The minute things start getting hot, it cuts to him being like, yeah, so my daughters won't talk to me anymore because they're getting bullied at school because someone found out about my job on Instagram. They're bullying them. And I'm like, oh, that's not the right time to put that part in. And then it cuts to him having like a 3-person intimate party with 2 women in his bedroom. And then it's just like a monologue. It cuts to him sitting there being like, I miss my ex-wife. What? I think she was my soulmate, but she left me because I chose this life and she didn't. And then it just like cuts to like moaning noises. And then it cuts to him being like, I'm actually really lonely. So I'm like, okay. Damon is a very interesting guy. He says he has a lot of knowledge of the human intimate experience now just from running Sanctum. He says a lot of husbands, they bring their wives, and watching their wives interact and have intense intimate relations with another person in front of them is hot. He says the guys I've talked to directly about it say they get turned on seeing their partner turned on. They genuinely don't have jealousy or fear. They know that the woman's coming home with them. They know that. They're not worried, and they really like to see their partner get pleasure from somebody else. That just turns them on. Also, of course, they're with another woman, so they have freedom too.
Have you? Like, it's so crazy. Like I said before, like 15-year-olds, 14-year-olds, they have Netflix. They have access to all these shows I have access to now. Like back in the day, a 14-year-old couldn't go to Blockbuster and rent a rated R movie. You had to be a certain age. What was it, like 17, or have a parent with you? Like now these kids can watch these things on Netflix, and 9 times out of 10, the parents don't even know they're watching it, y'all. Right? Speaking from experience, like they don't even know they're. I tell my mom stories I used to do with my friends. She's like, I had no idea. I had no idea you were across the street drinking, or you're across the street smoking. Like I had no idea. Like they're just so blind to it, y'all. And these kids now are watching these crazy things. Like when I was 13, 14, they would pop up at friends' house. We get access to the stepdad's computer and whatnot, but it stopped there. Like now they're up all night watching these things.
The hyena men of Nigeria. So the hyena men of Nigeria are these guys who go out and they find baby hyenas, or they breed hyenas. You'll see these guys walking down the streets of Lagos with their hyenas on leashes.
Dude, that's badass and crazy.
And these guys have these hyenas as status symbols, and they just like this. They just walk around town with these muzzled hyenas.
These guys have no chance of restraining this thing.
No, look. Look at it trying to get the cameraman.
I thought it was cool when I heard it, but now seeing what they're doing, like I hate it.
Being that we already know that sports are rigged, there's a script, because how is it that somebody on X predicted this very thing?
Oh, of course. You mean Elon's X?
That
where they
X.
do a lot of predictions on events and all kind of shit like that?
How is it that there is somebody on X, his handle is John Boogie. John Boogie, he tweets back in 2015. He says, hey, the Seahawks will never win another Super Bowl until 2026.
Okay, so he had
2015.
So the fact that he tweets that and that it happens, for one, it's a 50-50 chance once you get to the Super Bowl. But the chances of predicting this 11 years ago, being that they have to make the Super Bowl first, and then he predicts that they not only do that but win as well. How do you know that?
And he did it twice.
Also in 2015, he also tweets, the Eagles are going to win Super Bowl 52. Now, that's 3 years removed from the time he tweeted. So Super Bowl 52 was in 2018. And guess who wins the Super Bowl? The Eagles.
So 3 years, that's one thing. But like 10, 11 years guessing is crazy. That's not a guess, bro.
You know, when Hulk Hogan wins a match, they actually script that out months in advance. Maybe this is the same shit.
That's months. We're talking over a decade. How do you do that? That's too far in advance. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Yeah, so many different things can change. I think he's a time traveler, because how do you make those predictions that far in advance? That's some sports almanac almanac shit. So in the movie Back to the Future 2, he has a sports almanac that predicts everything the next 50 years because he goes to the future, and he has a sports almanac. And from 1950 to 2000, every single sporting event is in that book. And he's like, oh, I could take this back to the past or to my time and just bet on it and win.
It's funny, Epstein's talking about time travel too. Like, we're seeing this in the files.
That's also in the files. He said, hey, let's look at the biological sequence of time travel. That's in the file.
Can't make this shit up, bro.
The biological sequence of time travel.
That's how he states it. He puts it in that format. He's asking one of his colleagues, hey, what's the biological sequence or process to do time travel?
Okay, so now we're Days of Futures Past. Now we're X-Men.
And he talks about mutants in that same email.
The whole shit, they actually did that shit in X-Men Days of Futures Past. Like, they biologically traveled back in time. That's how Wolverine got back.
His consciousness, right?
He went to earlier portion of his self. He didn't actually
time travel himself. His consciousness just went back to his body to kind of remote view in a way.
No, because his consciousness could control his biological essence and time.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Now, what if Epstein's doing that?
You're right. I think that's the most logical, most realistic way to time travel.
That might be why he was asking the time travel, because he's like, look, the block is getting hot.
Yeah.
And I need to get the fuck out of here.
True.
You would travel back to an earlier version of yourself.
Right. And that way you're already privy to information to where you can help you. So if you go back in time per se, you can change a lot of things. Every time travel movie is coming true.
How much sugar is in a large Coke from McDonald's? Let's find out. Can I get a large Coke, please? That'll be all? That'll be all. All right, guys, let's go ahead and measure out our sugar in a large Coke. And I was absolutely mind blown after I did the sweet tea video and revealed that there are 70 grams in a sweet tea. There are an even 100 grams of sugar in a large Coke from McDonald's, which is mind blowing. So let's measure that out. Oh boy.
Crazy, y'all.
And it keeps going.
It's not necessary, really. It's really not necessary.
There it is, guys. 100 grams of sugar, a large Coke from McDonald's. That is how much sugar you're drinking. About a quarter of this cup is solid sugar. Let me know what drink you would like to see next.
It's not necessary. Like, I love sunflower seeds, y'all. I love sunflower seeds. I love to sit here and just crack seeds. But the amount of sodium that they put in a David's, sunflower seeds, even the reduced sodium one, but just a regular David sunflower seeds, if you sit there and eat a whole bag, like I can, it's like 5,000, 6,000 milligrams of sodium. Now, they say on average you should have, it's probably more than that. On average, you should have, like, the average 2,000 calorie diet is like 2,500 milligrams of sodium a day. You're eating double that, triple that. I think it's more than 5,000 if you eat the whole bag of David sunflower seeds, y'all. And it's unnecessary in sunflower seed. Why they got to put so much sodium?
So I heard something crazy. I don't know if you would call it a conspiracy theory, but supposedly off the coast, the East Coast, I heard there's an airport underwater at the bottom of the ocean. And I said to myself, this doesn't make any sense. I know what they say global warming, but that's not a thing. But how could an airport be hundreds of feet under the ocean, on the ocean floor, perfectly intact? That literally makes no sense. And then I said to myself, is this some kind of landing for UFOs or extraterrestrial creatures? I mean, it just don't make sense. An airport under the ocean. I mean, it was one thing when we had the playground under the ocean, but an airport? Sometimes I wonder if this stuff is just made up. But if you get a chance, check it out. See if you can find anything about an airport under the water, because it just don't make sense to me. I can't seem to wrap my head around why it'd be there.
The Queen's World's Fair, Flushing Meadow Park. I did this, and a lot of you people didn't understand. I wasn't saying this couldn't be built in 1961, as they're trying to renovate it now. But the World's Fair in general. I then got lost in the rigmarole as I'm screaming about Belgian waffles, hot
It makes
dogs and ice cream
sense.
cones. Those were the groundbreaking, innovative technology of the time. Come on, man. Is that what we're going to settle for? Hot dogs and renaming waffles Belgian waffles as the innovative technology of the time? Again, I might have lost you last time. I was screaming about hot dog buns, ice cream cones, and Belgian waffles. What are you talking about, Tubs of Fun? I'm talking about the innovative technology that we just accept. And I love all three of those things. I'd parlay them into a freaking great afternoon. But that's what we accept as innovative technology? Putting a hot dog in a bun, a scoop of ice cream in a cone, and putting Belgium in front of waffles that were invented already. And everyone's like, oh man, I love the World's Fair. There was also a crystal house, a glass and crystal house that burnt down, just like everything else that was destroyed. No, look, this is how the future's gonna be. Next thing you know, they're burning everything down in a great fire. How does a crystal house and a glass house go on fire? Come on, man, Google it. Sound off. What World's Fair thing do you remember? Which one sticks out to you as BS? Which doesn't make sense? And I know they could build this in 1961. That's not my dilemma. It's us accepting ice cream buns, ice cream cones, hot dog buns as the innovative technology and all the other stuff, the future, flying cars. We're like, oh, what happened to that? Hey, don't worry, we got a hot dog. Hey, finish your ice cream cone, kid. Make it make sense.
New cameras. Just gave that damn thing to my beagle, he would have ripped that up in 10 seconds. Is it a camera? Yeah, it looks like it.
What if these are entities that are here on this earth, that have been on this earth, who knows how long, and that we, you know, we think they're coming in from way out. Maybe they did millennia ago, but they're here, and they're in these deep water areas. And that's why, I mean, like we say, we know more about the face of the moon than we do what's going on there. And we have a higher propensity of sightings around these 5 or 6, I believe, deep water areas. And so to me, it just it creates a question there. And then when we have naval personnel telling me that we have these sightings and that there's these underwater craft they're chasing that are doing hundreds of miles an hour, and the best we've got is something that does maybe just a little under 40 miles an hour.
We was talking about the UAP. That's a government official. He said the fastest we got is 40 miles an hour. Even if they do got some shit faster, right? We don't know. Now, in Beheld the Pale Horse, William B. Cooper talked about UFOs and objects coming out of the water, flying into the water. I'm pretty sure y'all seen the video a few years ago before AI was super popular. We know we had CGI, but there's videos of all these crabs and going in the water at like light speed. You feel me? So all them crabs ain't man-made.
I'm in the place of Mexico where they used to sacrifice people like that. To go in these pyramids, I didn't pay anything because it's Sunday and I have my Mexican ID. But since you don't, you're gonna pay 210 pesos. That's like $12 around there. So they just told me we won't be able to go under the pyramids because they closed it during COVID. And while you're here, try not to touch. It says no tocar, conserve su distancia. Keep your distance. Whoa, check it out. They even have ancient insect. I'm just kidding. Pretty cool. Look, this is how it was, the Spanish people attacking the Aztecs. I think they're Aztecs here. Well, we're gonna see. These are some of the remains of the half-built city. This part of the city is not gated. I think I can touch it. Yeah. This is where the leaders would make announcements. It's built, they don't need any microphones. Guessing this is where they would stand?
It's gated.
Here we supposedly have the
There's a
ye
barrier
old bar. We would drink pulque and offer and poop and vomit right here. I'll tell you why there's a church up there later. I'm gonna try to get to the top. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Well, I'm way up here. You can see part of the pyramid. It's underneath all of this. Spaniards found out that they worshipped a god in this pyramid, so they put a church up there. What an insult to the Aztecs, right? You have the pyramid for your god, and then the Spaniards come and place a Catholic church on top of it, especially on top of the pyramid now.
They're calling Alzheimer's now type 3 diabetes. Type 3 diabetes is insulin resistance in the brain. Our brains get so crack addicted to sugar that even most endocrinologists don't know that the brain manufactures its own insulin. Only the problem is when you get insulin resistance in the brain, unlike the body where we can actually store sugar in a stored form called glycogen, we can store it in the liver, we actually store it in the muscles. It takes that stored sugar in the form of something called glycogen and puts it back into the bloodstream as something called glucose. The brain doesn't have that exchange. And so there are these little spaces all throughout the brain called the neurosynaptic junction. These little voids where nerve endings don't touch, but they stop and signals jump across this gap. And when these gaps fill with amyloid plaques and when you get things called neurofibrillary tangles, we say, well, that's the genesis of Alzheimer's. But the truth is, the genesis of it was insulin resistance.
Text that I just sent you, Rob, pop that up. There is anonymous accounts on Craigslist looking for the toughest badasses in the city of Los Angeles, 6,500 to 12,000 per week. And they describe exactly what you're going to do. You're going to kick ass. You're going to do this. We'll give you high pressure, no risk, no room for hesitation. Need individuals who do not break, panic, or fold under stress. They're recruiting people to be part of the
How do you know this is tied to that?
The response is from L.A. and they took it down. It went
They
took it down last night. Over in L.A.
But how do you know? How do you know this is them though? So they're asking these guys to go do the damages
in the area. This supposedly popped up 2 days ago.
So when you have someone like Ricky Gervais who says, there are 30,000 religions out there, you really think yours is true? That's like standing in front of a judge and saying there are 30,000 people in this town. You really think this guy's the guy who did it? Well, it depends what the evidence is, right? And so it's not just arbitrary. We didn't just pick a random person and put him on trial. There's evidence that actually points to whether that person is guilty or not. And so when I'm looking at the historical evidence, we can look at the Dead Sea Scrolls and we can see their fidelity to 1,000 years later, and that being so close that it's staggering sometimes. And I have a couple of late 2nd, early 3rd century copies of the Gospels. I'm looking at it, I'm reading the Greek, and when I'm sight translating it and I look at my English Bible, I'm like, guess what? I might as well just open this up. Because the connectivity is just there. Now, that's not to say there aren't differences in spelling, word order, or variances. Those do exist, but it's just the fidelity is just so mind-blowing to me personally.
You're not getting better. You're being managed. Medication for pain, medication for sleep, medication for the side effects of the first medication. This is normal now. You return every month, refill the prescription, describe the same symptoms, get the same response. The system isn't broken. It's working exactly as designed. You're not a patient, you're a subscription. Most people never noticed when sickness became the business model.
That's what happened with the Skinwalker Ranch. There was an innate phenomenon there. A bunch of guys operating with Robert Bigelow set up some electronics that ran the rancher off, so they forcibly bought it. And then they set up all these weird electromagnetic phenomenon there, and I know how they did it. Same thing with the Bradshaw Ranch. I've had my people scouted out. There are guys all dressed in black down below a hill, and it's a complete black site. I don't know if it's CIA or corporate. So this happens all the time. If you have an area that has an innate phenomenon going on, those will get taken over and turn into a black site that's human. And then the public gets gaslit and deceived about all the phenomenon there. They ran off the people in the Bradshaw Ranch, same thing with Skinwalker. This is the high end of stagecraft.
Basically, people would come and report they would see weird shit in the water, right? And all of the locals around there, they say, look, don't talk about the mermaids because it's going to scare the tourism business away. But they have signs
That'll
on
build the
everybody's
tourism,
compound
right?
that say, do not go into the water after dark. And everybody compound got electric wired fence around it. So they all trying to keep something out.
The shrimp is from India. And they're selling it for $35 from India. Farm. Can you imagine? What are these people thinking?
You go to a Sam's or a Costco, they sell gift cards. Think about what I'm about to say. They sell a $75 gift card to Texas Roadhouse for $49.99.
Right.
You buy that and then turn around and sell it. Infinite money glitch. I have $75 to Texas Roadhouse. And, and the best part is, you can even swindle and be like, you know what, brother, I'm going to cut you a deal. This is $75 cold hard cash for those sweet cinnamon rolls. I'll give it to you for $70. $5 off. And then he pays you pocket $20. And then who's to tell me I'm not going to go back and buy every single gift card? I will spend a $10,000 bill at Sam's to get all the gift cards they own and then go on a hunt to sell all of them to come up $2,000.
This is like the lowest tier of money laundering.
That is the lowest tier of money laundering, but it's a glitch. That is a real life glitch. They have that.
We don't advise.
Go to your Sam's.
No, don't advise.
No. I'm not saying to resell them. You might not be able to. I don't know. But they sell gift cards for $75 to places for $50. It's like that's a part of being a member.
I don't understand how that works.
Because Sam's and Costco are both memberships.
Yeah.
So that's a part of their thank you.
Yeah.
But it's like no, thank you.
Yeah.
You just opened up a new bank for me. I'm going to glitch this.
Not that fun.
I'm going to glitch.
Who would you sell that to?
These podcasts,
I would literally go to the restaurant, Peyton. But hey, excuse me, sir. I can only help to see that you're walking in with your family of 6. This is a $75 gift card. I'll give it to you $65.99 right now. Right now, no cash, and yes, I do have Square.
To be illegal.
I said yes, I do have Square.
If you bought a Square, you're too far gone.
That is there's not a no soliciting sign out front of a Texas Roadhouse.
I'm pretty sure there is.
I don't think there is.
There's like no cigarettes, no selling gift cards.
I'll walk in with a Marlboro Red and the gift cards. I'm like, this is America.
Okay, that's
the best. Probably the Obama thing.
John, what's the? Oh God.
Oh God.
John.
What?
What is your wife talking about?
I don't know.
Have y'all been noticing how all celebrities are starting to look real freaky all of a sudden? I'm not even just talking about plastic surgery. I'm just talking about in general, I guess. You know, I follow conspiracies, so obviously I hear all sides of that. You know, the people who believe that they ingest a certain kind of chemical and now they're not getting that chemical anymore. That maybe their flesh suits because their reptiles are kind of rotting, so that's why they look so different. Well, why are they so fucking freaky looking right now? Because I know it's not just me that's noticing this.
This is the second picture I'm going to share out of the Epstein files. Now, I know when you see this, you think it's probably turkeys or some type of food.
I mean,
but if you notice, the legs are pushed back and
is this real, y'all?
It's folded up.
Like, you don't know no more. You just don't know.
I know this is graphic. This might break people's hearts, but I hope it opens your mind.
I have to put a blur over this.
And I hope it makes you a little bit angry. It makes you not like what happened, because I don't. As a dad, this sickens me. Y'all, I don't know if anybody started to make a plan or if they're going to make a plan or what's going to happen, but I want in. I don't want to let this go. I don't want to move on. This isn't a hoax. This isn't nothing like that. This is real life. These are children. And this is what they was doing to them. This is in the files. You can go look it up. I will include the file numbers as I locate them. But I wanted to share this with you this morning. There's a high possibility I could be banned. If it is, I'll make another page. They don't mind you seeing the Epstein files. But they want you to go looking for them. They don't want nobody to bring them to you. Have a good day.
Like, is it real, y'all? That's the thing. I had to blur that out. I had to blur it out. It's two, like, whole chickens, and in the middle, it looks like a very young, right? Is it real? Like, you don't know what's real, what's not real. Like, but yeah, like you said, that as a dad, like, that just, these rich and powerful people that people still to this day are bowing down to fighting in the streets over these politicians, worshiping the ground these politicians walk on, getting paid by these politicians to make false propaganda to the people. And this is what they're doing behind closed doors. And these people that are making content for those politicians don't realize they're just pawns. Y'all, like, I don't give a damn about you. You know, like selling their soul. That's selling your soul for the dollar. And it's just sick. If that's real, that is just sick, y'all.
I've never in my entire life seen any fucking tomatoes this fucking red.
This looks
fucking
crazy. That's how they look, though,
This
y'all.
shit
That's
looks like fake, bitch, like a commercial. Oh, I'm scared. I don't know.
bumper. And my allergies, y'all, killing me today.
This is why the grid is obsolete. Localized power generation using scrap metal. It's time to wake up, start building. Lincoln by most people are trapped in a cycle of rising bills and planned outages because they think electricity is some complex mystery controlled by giant corporations. The truth is, this setup right here uses a high efficiency alternator and a modified motor to create a closed loop feedback system that pumps out more juice than it takes to keep it turning. Built this using nothing but reclaimed parts in a few hours in the garage, and now my workshop runs entirely off the grid without a single cent going to the power company. If you're tired of being dependent on a failing infrastructure and want to take back your energy independence, I've documented every single step of this build, including the wiring diagrams and the specific motor specs needed to hit that sweet spot of self-sustainment. You won't find this information in a textbook, but you can get the full blueprint right now by clicking on my profile picture on the left of your screen, and you'll see the direct link right there in my profile bio to start your own off-grid journey today before the power companies try to shut this down.
Okay, hold. Like, you guys can get free. You can get free electricity. Screw the power company, but you got to pay me that $50 to get the info.
Did you see this video? I don't know how they're going to back this up. Like, what are they going to debunk this with? Is this not a ritual? They have a wide receiver dressed up in a prison jumpsuit in shackles and the weird spit mask. I think that's so you can't spit through it. And the 13. Notice his shirt. The numbers on his shirt. You thought it'd be 33. I know it could have been, but it's 13. Isn't it interesting that they say 13 is an unlucky number, by the way, but and that no buildings have a 13th floor, but there used to be 13 months of the year. 13, I'm going to do a whole video on the number 13. Of course, they have to put their number there. But so what's the big idea? Is this showing in plain sight that he is a prisoner, that he is doesn't call his own shots, so to speak? Is this part of his entertainment contract? Because we know that the NFL, it's an entertainment, right? Like, isn't the NFL registered as an entertainment company, not a sports thing? Like, I don't know how anyone could look at how massively popular and, big the NFL is and think that it's just some willy-nilly thing. I guess people really are bred in circuses out the yin-yang. They don't even know they're being mind-controlled, manipulated, deceived, distracted, and they go to the Super Bowl. Woo! I mean, I couldn't even believe. I guess I'm so disconnected from that type of world where you're watching sports and chugging fluoride, like it's just not even exists in my mind. But there's a lot of people who are really into sports. If you're watching this and you're into sports, you probably think I'm an idiot. I don't think you're an idiot, but I do think there's a bit of a deception going on here, big time. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below and follow for more.
When Charlie Kirk died, that f***ed me up.
All of us up.
Well, it didn't.
What should have?
Comics were doing the most reaching, desperate, fucking horrific shit
So if you're going for like the shock value, or if you're saying, "Oh, come on, we're comics," it's like, well, where's your George Floyd jokes? Because people wouldn't have had the gall to do a joke about George Floyd the same week that it happened.
Think about this. Think about the lives of George Floyd and the life of Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
And then think about the black square.
Yeah.
And then think about the reaction to Charlie Kirk. Bro,
remember
I think they're in a
y'all?
bubble, you know, like in their circles, everything they follow and everything in their algorithm is like, yay, Charlie's dead. Yay, someone shot at Donald Trump. Like in their circles, like that's like heroic. And so they're in such a bubble that they think, well, who would disagree with this?
There's some things I was involved in and I do regret, like, for example, Mogadishu. We had a mission and got a bloody nose, wasn't over, but Bill Clinton, because of his politics, he decided to pull us out. So, you know, we lost 5 Delta Force operators, and to what end? What did we get out of that? Nothing. When I look at stuff like that, I'm like, you know, it's not the soldier's fault. The soldier did his job. As a military, we kick ass. We've always kicked ass. It's the politics that loses the war force, particularly the politicians. I look back at Mogadishu, I look back at Bagram with huge regret.
Have you ever been to this city in Spain that has the giant hole in the middle of it that no one knows how it got there? This is Balbino, Spain, and it is one of the most visited cities in Spain by touristers every year. But even the world's top scientists don't know how this hole got in the city. It's been there for hundreds and hundreds, maybe even thousands and millions of years. They don't know if it's man-made or if it's naturally occurring, and they don't know where the hole leads to. They don't know if in the bottom of it, it's magna lava, or if it goes all the way through the earth and there's an opening somewhere else on the other side of the global worlds. Every year, about 19 people tragically, accidentally trip and they fall into it, never to be seen again. So the Spain governors are budgeting this year to try to put a fence around it to stop people from falling down it. But if you do get a chance to visit this city, I do recommend that you visit it. You look down the hole. There is one local that throws bottle caps down it every day. And so if there is a bottom of it, it's got to be full with, you know, hundreds of bottle caps at this point.
It's really disturbing. Like, if you eat freshwater fish, your exposure to forever chemicals is like ridiculously high. Eating one freshwater fish equals a month of drinking forever chemicals water. Oh my God.
That's what they tell you, so you don't
Joe
have
on
to.
that 100%. But at the same time, there was a UC Davis study where they surveyed wild caught saltwater fish. They were full of forever chemicals. So it's not just fresh water that's the problem. That being said, there's still pristine waters here in America that people are raising fish in, and they don't have any forever chemicals. Ours have been tested, no microplastics, no mercury, none of that nasty stuff, just a pure, amazing fish that's living in clean water. I'd encourage you to know where your food comes from, support your local farmer. They're doing the best they can. Check us out, Smoking Chimneys.
This man right here completely ruined the used car market. In 2009, under the Obama administration, the government started this program called Cash for Clunkers, which basically was if you traded in an older car, you got up to $4,500 for a new car. There were some rules for your trade-in acceptance. The car had to have a running engine, had to be insured and registered for the last 12 months, and no more than 25 years old. So these were all pretty good cars, which sounds pretty good until you realize none of these cars were resold and none of the parts could be reused. Were all sent to a junkyard. They literally poured this stuff called engine seize inside all of the car's engines and then crushed them all. That way they can no longer be used ever again. So that means hundreds of thousands of these cheap, affordable cars disappeared forever. If you think about it, all of these cars didn't have the newer technology where they could be tracked by GPS, along with being super easy to fix, most of the time could run forever. So it makes you think what the government was really trying to do. They also raised the total price for newer vehicles and offered lower interest rates for the customers, which would look better as a lower monthly payment, but you end up paying way more total. And it's also why a $500 car now is worth $3,000 to $5,000.
So I believe that this photo is being seriously underestimated, and I need you guys to understand why. So there are 2 photos from the Epstein files that no one is talking about, and I get it. They look boring. It's just people in a room. But when you look at where this photo was taken, who's in it, and what kind of discussion appears to be happening, it gets unsettling very fast. I can confidently identify 3 people. On the far left, wearing green, is Martin Nowak, a world-renowned evolutionary biologist who founded Harvard's program for evolutionary dynamics. In the center is, of course, Jeffrey Epstein. And to his right in the brown jacket is Steve Bannon. At the time this photo appears to have been taken, Bannon was running Trump's 2016 campaign and would soon become White House chief strategist. Everyone else in that room is still unidentified, so if you recognize anyone, say something. Now, based on the room overall, this photo was taken inside Harvard University within the program for evolutionary dynamics sometime between 2015 and 2017. That program studies how ideas, behaviors, or traits spread through groups of people, how they catch on, how they become the normal, and how hard they are to undo once established. Epstein himself donated $6.5 million to help launch this program and actually kept a private office inside of it. Now, this next part is critical. Jeffrey Epstein had a long documented obsession with eugenics, which is the belief that humanity can be improved by controlling who gets to reproduce and who doesn't. Historically, that's led to forced sterilizations, racial hierarchies, and mass atrocities. Epstein openly talked about DNA heredity and creating a genetic legacy, and he also discussed seeding his DNA, selecting traits, and engineering future generations, and he funded scientists, courted academics.
我去。
Well, there's your Spain sinkhole.
哇，那个房子都掉进去了。
Wallowing up the earth like nothing, y'all, like nothing.
That was an enormous sinkhole that opened up in Shanghai. Workers flagged a water leak the day before, which officials say may have played a role in the collapse. There were no fatalities or injuries.
Every book in the libraries, every book in the colleges, every book in the universities, every book on this planet is misinformation. It's misinformation. So, which is initiated by the Draco reptilians as far back as 6,000 years ago.
The reptilians really came into control and started to be able to manipulate what was going on the face of the planet about 6,000 to 7,000 years ago. It is true that they have different masking technologies to be able to be in a room and look like a human, but usually they're in underground bases in various places on the globe, as well as in a huge area in Antarctica. The southeast region has a large number of underground caverns that are kept extremely warm, too warm for humans, by geothermal heat. It's a perfect place for all of these colonies that the reptilians have. They're basically cities, huge cities with millions of them.
Hi, Comedy Central. Do you have any advice for a young girl moving to Hollywood? I'll get lively with us. When Harvey Weinstein invites you to a private party and it's 4 seasons stuff.
See what I'm saying all the time, y'all? Like, these Epstein things now, everyone's coming out and talking about them, right? But they known about these things. They knew about Harvey Weinstein back in 2005. These same people that came out and made all these, exposed everything he was doing, were thanking him at the awards. Ellen was saying Harvey Weinstein's paying for all this pizza, right? Like, they know what he does, and it's a shame. Like the Diddy thing, when he beat up that girl in the hotel knew about this. They paid the hotel off. Like, is it ever going to change? The machine's done with Epstein. Do you think he's the one that held all the keys to that? I doubt it. He's probably the pawn. They knew from the get-go. This is when it hits the fan, we're going to just throw him this guy because the party's going to keep going on. But everyone's going to think it's done because of him. Just like, the cartel thing, like Chapo. People say he wasn't even the ringleader, but the powers that be made him be like he's the guy. But he wasn't. You hear all these people come out and say he wasn't the guy. So same thing with this Epstein thing. Is he the guy? Is it done now? No one's getting arrested. So which means these people the party goes on, right?
The reason we're gathered here this morning is to send out the alarm, alert all New Yorkers that we are heading into a very, very dangerous weather event that is unfolding later today and throughout this weekend into Monday, throughout every corner of the state. No state will be immune from feeling the effect of Mother Nature's wrath on this weekend. So we warned about an extreme weather event yesterday. That event has arrived. It's intensifying as we speak. Now, we're used to winter in New York.
So this guy goes to the beach and he digs up a bunch of trash under the sand. And then he takes that trash and converts it into a solution to the problem. So he takes all that trash and compacts it at his house. He's got a little compactor at his home. And then he shreds it up into little pieces and puts it in his own little melting pot. This thing's incredible. And at first I thought he was going to make something cheesy, something you would see like a live, laugh, love sort of situation out of the metal parts. But that's not where this is going. So once he's welded everything together, bends it around this trash can to give it shape. I'm like, okay, still don't know where this is going. And then I thought he did all of that just so that he can make this little star shape. I was like, okay, cool. This guy's going to make a bunch of cool things that he can sell online. Stuff you'd probably see at Bed Bath & Beyond. But that is not where this is going. So he welds it all together into an actual trash can for the beach. The dude's name is Wood Mood. Find him on all platforms, and he's got all kinds of great stuff to share with you. Please check him out and give him a follow.
So that's a pigeon, super loud. Pretty loud. Now watch the owl. Nothing. You don't hear anything.
So
way more exposed.
Vehicles, you know they're just surveilling right now. They getting our images, they uploading it to their cloud, they surveilling the
Good
hood.
flea market.
This really what they be doing. You know what that is? That ain't nothing but the feds. Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
It's gotta be Cali. Or the Bay. This gotta be the Bay, bro. Or LA. If y'all hear them drums, start smelling them incense, know you at a Bay Area or LA flea market. I ain't never been to no LA flea markets, but anyway, these Waymo cars, right? I remember one time I had an Uber driver driving me, and he said they had to sign an NDA. This was like 2021, 2022. And he was saying they had to sign an NDA basically on them doing the vehicles and stuff like that, right? And them not to expose the process. But what they do is the people behind the wheel, they sit behind the wheel for a few months and they send the cars out. But now they just send these cars out. But the cameras that they have on these cars are above 4K, bro. And it could zoom in. It's like a flock camera. It's no different than a flock and Raven camera. Raven poles and flock cameras. Like, this is high tech surveillance. So when you see Waymos, just know you're being recorded.
I never understood why somebody would want to display that they're a Freemason, but somebody enlightened me, because, like, you know, everybody says different things about the Freemasons. But somebody tell me what y'all think.
All right, fam. There you have today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. You know what to do if you made it this far. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, y'all. Happy Valentine's Day to all the lovers out there, y'all. And if you don't got a Valentine's Day, y'all, just, you're doing good, y'all. You're doing good still. Don't worry about it. But anyway, nothing much going on today. It's ugly. It's windy outside. It's cold. So we're just going to hang out at home. I'm going to get me some chicken wings from Wingstop. Mama Bear wants Olive Garden, so we're going to get it to go, y'all. We're going to get it to go. Probably go buy us some shoes. I told her we'll get some new shoes today. So we'll probably go get some new shoes. Hit up Olive Garden, Wingstop on the way home. That's my Valentine's Day night. Chill with the baby. Just have a good night at home, y'all. Hope you guys all have a good day. This is Segovia. I'm signing out of the Man Cave. I'm going to see you guys on the next one. Later.